US President Joe Biden will pay a solidarity visit to Israel on Wednesday following the Hamas attacks. Iran has warned of possible preemptive action against Israel in the coming hours. And as Tel Aviv gears up for a ground offensive on the Gaza Strip, Hamas says it is ready and it does not scare them. US President Joe Biden will visit Israel for talks with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and to make clear that Tel Aviv has the right to defend itself. Now, from Israel, Biden will travel to Amman for talks with Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Jordanian King Abdullah II. Announcing Biden's Israel visit, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that Tel Aviv and Washington had agreed to develop a plan for aid to Gaza.
On Wednesday, President Biden will visit Israel. He's coming here at a critical moment for Israel, for the region, and for the world. And he's coming here to do the following. First, the President will reaffirm the United States' solidarity with Israel and our ironclad commitment to its security. President Biden will again make clear, as he's done unequivocally since Hamas's slaughter of more than 1,400 people, including at least 30 Americans, that Israel has the right and indeed the duty to defend its people from Hamas and other terrorists and to prevent future attacks. The President will hear from Israel what it needs to defend its people as we continue to work with Congress to meet those needs.
Antony Blinken met for nearly 8 hours at the Defense Ministry with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The visit marked the top US diplomat's second visit since the October 7 to Israel. Previous conflicts between Hamas and Israel have ended through mediation by powers with a keen interest in West Asian peace. Now, the casualties on both the sides, Hamas killing hundreds as well as taking hostages and Israel hitting back with deadly force, complicate any mediation plans. The role of regional kingpin Saudi Arabia remains hugely sensitive here. Some analysts suggest moves to normalize the kingdom's own relationship with Israel could have been one of the motivations for the attack by Hamas. Now, as per Washington Post, Saudi's Crown Prince snubbed the US Secretary of State by making him wait overnight for a meeting before postponing it. Remember, Antony Blinken last week visited several US allies in West Asia in a bid to rally them around United States' position. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is set to visit Egypt and Israel as well. Egypt has a peace treaty with Israel and borders the Gaza Strip, a Hamas stronghold. Egypt has in the past repeatedly been called upon to act as mediator, with Cairo also happy to add to its diplomatic prestige. Iran continues to hit out at Israel. Apart from funding Hamas, Israel's arch nemesis backs Hezbollah in Lebanon as well. Iran warned of a possible preemptive action against Israel in the coming hours. The Iranian foreign minister said, and I'm quoting here, the resistance leaders will not allow Israel to do whatever it wants in Gaza. A Russian drafted UN Security Council resolution that called for a humanitarian ceasefire in the war failed to pass. Russia proposed the one-page draft text on Friday, which also called for the release of hostages, humanitarian aid access, and the safe evacuation of civilians in need. Now, the text condemned violence against civilians and all acts of terrorism, but did not name Hamas. Meanwhile, Colombia said Israel's ambassador should leave the South American country before rowing back comments. The Colombian minister initially said the Israeli envoy should at a minimum apologize and leave after criticizing Petro's comparison of Israeli attacks on Gaza with the Nazi persecution of Jews. Later, he stated he had merely demanded respect for Colombia's president. The Colombian foreign minister said, and I'm quoting here, "I have not said that the Israeli ambassador is expelled." Now, our correspondent Susan Tehrani, who's based in New York, explains what the context is for the standby order for the US military in Israel.
President Biden continues to face intense pressure to save American hostages believed to be held in Hamas captivity, as the Pentagon chief tells U.S. troops to be ready to go to Israel on short notice. As advisors and spy chiefs briefed President Biden on Monday, U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin sent "be ready to deploy" orders to American troops. to further defend Israel if needed in advisory or medical support roles. However, late on Monday afternoon, we learned from defense officials that the 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit, which is a special operations rapid response force, is moving closer to Israel via the Red Sea.